Hey guys, my name is David Harling from Keystone English, and today we're looking at manners. So whether you want to visit England for a holiday, or perhaps you just want to conduct business with English companies, this video will help you to learn how to show good manners in England. Now, of course, many of these rules will apply in other countries as well. But certainly here in the UK, it's really good for you to try to do these things. So first of all, quite an obvious one, is shaking hands when you meet someone new. It is polite to shake their hand and introduce yourself. This is a very polite thing to do. Now, of course, we are in the middle of a global pandemic, so at the moment, we do not shake hands with people. We might give a wave instead. We acknowledge them with a nod. But under normal circumstances, we would shake the person's hand and we would say hello. Now, some tips on shaking hands. First, you want to have a firm handshake. Now, you don't want to crush the other person's hand, but make sure that it's not a limp, soft handshake. Be firm. Secondly, it's always good to maintain eye contact with the other person when shaking hands. This presents a confident appearance and will help you to give a good first impression. This is really important, for example, when entering the room for a job interview. You want to give a firm, confident handshake and introduce yourself. Now, the second tip is to be aware of your surroundings. Now, this is something that really irritates me and many other British people. It's when people do not pay attention to what is going on around them. For example, if you are in a supermarket, do not block the whole aisle with your trolley. Move to the side so that people can get past. If you are walking on the pavement, do not walk in the centre, just looking at your feet. Rather, move to the left-hand side of the pavement so that people coming the other direction do not have to move out of your way. Now, the third tip is closely linked to the second one. Our third tip is to be considerate of others. So if you are on a bus and you see that a lady or someone older than you is having to stand up because there are no seats left, well, then you can stand up and offer them your seat. This is a very polite thing to do. If you are walking through a door and you see someone else approaching the door, either in front or behind you, then it's polite to wait and hold the door open for them. Now, tip number 4 is to avoid disturbing others. In England, it is viewed as very rude to talk loudly on your phone in public. If you're on a bus, you can answer your phone, but try to be quiet so that you don't disturb others. If you cannot talk quietly on the phone, then tell the person that you're on the bus at the moment and you'll call them back in a few minutes. This is the polite thing to do. Tip number 5 is such an important one, and it will save you from being fined. Tip 5 is to keep your property clean and tidy. Many people that come to live in England are never told that some of the practices that they did in their old countries are not acceptable in England. For example, you cannot just leave your old furniture in your garden. This is a common problem for environmental officers around the country. They often have to hand out fines to people that do not dispose of their furniture correctly. It is the owner's responsibility to look after and maintain their property, and this includes keeping your garden neat and tidy. It also shows respect for your neighbours, and it is the polite thing to do. So keep your garden nice and tidy. Now, the next 2 tips might depend on which part of England you visit. For example, I am from the north of England, and there are no real rules for the appropriate use of escalators in the north of England. You just stand on it and it takes you up or down. In busier places like London, however, you'll notice that there are signs that instruct you to stand to one side of the escalator. In London, we stand on the right side of the escalator. This is like the slow lane of a motorway. The left-hand side is the fast lane. That is for people to walk up if they are in a hurry. The next tip also depends on what part of the country you are in. In London, most people keep to themselves. They keep their head down when travelling and they get to their destination as quickly as possible. In the north of England, however, it is considered polite to say hello to people that you pass on the street. So you might say good morning and smile to someone as you pass them in the street. Now, you don't stop walking or anything, but it is considered polite to say a brief greeting to people as you pass. You'll find this happens more in rural places. So if you are in the countryside, you'll find that most people that are out for a leisurely walk will greet each other as they pass. It is the polite thing to do. Our next tip is to be patient when queuing. England is very well known for queuing. We wait in line patiently for things. So if you are in a shop, a post office, a bus stop, you will notice that people form a line. It is viewed as very rude to push your way into the line. You must go to the back of the line and patiently wait your turn. Nothing makes us more angry than people that cut the line. Another very important tip is that British people never normally spit in the street. This is viewed as very rude in England. Now, many English learners sound rude when they ask for something. The reason for this is because they do not use modal verbs correctly. So make sure that you check out this video all about how to use modal verbs. They can really make you sound much more polite in your daily conversations. So that's it from me. Let me know if any of these points were new to you. I'm sure many of these tips will be the same in other countries as well. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. I'll see you in the next one.